Good morning, everyone. This is Rhett Scott at hpCommerce Software. Welcome to day 2 of the HP Quickstart class. Today's class will be on working with products, labor, and power tools for product updates. I welcome you all to today's class and thank you for coming back for day 2. Let's go ahead and get started. Some reminders about this class is that we are endeavoring to keep things simple. This is a quick start course, and we want to cover the things that you really need to know in order to use HP. This is going to end up being about 80% of what you will effectively use. So the class is really good from that standpoint. These are the tools and things you're going to need to know to use HP effectively most of the time. The other thing we're going to be doing as we go along is we're going to be building awareness. We're not going to dive into some other topics that may be more detailed or deserve a webinar on their own, but we are going to mention them so that you'll be thinking about those and want to learn more. And then finally, getting the most out of this training, a big part of that is asking questions. And I want to encourage everyone to ask questions. So this is a slide that I promised we would be repeating, and here it is again. I want to encourage you to use the keyboard. Today I'm going to be using the mouse so that you can see me move around in the program, but I rarely use the mouse when I use HP. We've intentionally designed HP so that you can keep your hands on the keyboard to make using HP fast and simple. This type of keyboard interface is just an elegant solution that keeps you from having to grab the mouse and distract your hands away from doing the work that they should do. We have done a lot of work to try to make HP so that you can do everything right from the keyboard. So learn those keystrokes, use those function keys, put your mouse in the drawer, and keep your hands on the keyboard, and you'll find that you'll be moving around HP much faster and simpler than you ever were before. I want to reiterate that we've designed HP to be very linear. There's not a bunch of windows that will pop up when you're using HP. There's one way of doing things. There's one path in and there's one way out. And to get out, you use that escape key in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard. If there's something that needs to be saved when you press escape, you'll be prompted to either save or discard the changes. So keeping it simple by using the keyboard, think linear design, the same cow paths every time. You don't have to worry about a lot of extraneous windows staying open, popping up, and so forth and so on. And then last two items are the dashboard. Most forms in HP have a dashboard at the bottom. That lets you know all of the different things that you can be doing with HP. It's the place you go to get additional information about what you're looking at, and look for that dashboard and use those features to learn more about what you are covering currently in the software. And then finally, HP is easy to learn. If you learn one thing, then you know how to do 5 other things. As an example, later on, we're going to learn how to produce a sales order. Once you learn how to produce a sales order, you'll know how to produce a quote and a purchase order. They all work similar. We saw yesterday when searching that once you learn how to search in one location, the search tools work the same every place in the software. Let's get into today's topic. We're going to take a deeper dive into products. First of all, I want to cover again the organization of products in HP. Products are organized under product line codes, which you can think of as being brands that are manufactured. And you can have as many product line codes as you want. And then within product line codes, you can have as many products as you want. And this goes for both products and labor. Every item has to be put under a product line code, and you want a product only exist once in your system. I'm bringing this up because if you purchase from multiple distributors, there's a chance that they may call the part something different. You want to make sure that you do not duplicate the part in the system. You need to choose one way of referring to it so that your inventory is managed correctly. You want to leverage what you have. This is something we talked about yesterday in that When you're starting off with HP, if you have any product data available from an old software package or perhaps from spreadsheets, you want to leverage what you already have, and our tech support team can help you format that and import that into HP. Pricing strategy. So from the main menu, we're going to go into the inventory submodule menu and then part number maintenance, and let's pull up a part. Okay, we have a plenum repair kit that we've pulled up here. Pricing strategy. You want to keep your pricing strategy as simple as possible. If you can get by with just using one pricing level for your customers, then you should do that. There's no reason to use 8 of these pricing levels. Keep it simple. The more pricing levels you have, there's more to maintain. When you set up a customer, you assign them to a pricing level, and we'll learn more about that in a later class. There are pricing tools that you can use at the customer level that would allow you to continue to use just one price level even if you're wanting to offer that customer a discount off of the regular price level. We also have list price and map price. Pricing in HP, when you use the power tools that are available, such as when you add an item to the system and you've indicated a cost, it will ask you if you want to calculate pricing. It uses the markups that you've established at the product line code level, and we covered that yesterday. So you can establish default markups at the product line code level. These are markups over base cost. So HP has 3 cost fields. There's true cost, base cost, and average cost. True cost, by our definition, is what you are currently purchasing the item at from your supplier. This is what would go into a purchase order. Base cost for most of our customers is set up just the same as true cost. It's called base cost because it's what pricing is based off of. So since HP is a cost plus system, the markup is applied to this base cost. Now, why do we have a separate true cost and base cost? Well, as we talked yesterday, you may want to make base cost be a landed cost. And a landed cost, by definition, is your true cost of stocking that item. So in addition to the cost that you pay your vendor, there are additional costs, such as shipping and handling. You may want to increase true cost by a small percentage in order to arrive at a base cost that then your pricing would be based off of. And then finally, there's average cost. Average cost is maintained automatically for you. It uses a cost averaging formula, and when you receive items into inventory, you indicate a cost that you're receiving them at, and then this cost averaging formula comes into play, and the cost is averaged over time. So it's meant to represent the average value of your inventory over time. So it's important when you're receiving to indicate the true cost that you're receiving the items at. And we'll cover that more when we get into purchasing. Let's go to a dashboard review. So the dashboard, as we've indicated in an earlier slide, is located at the bottom of most forms. And it's a very powerful tool to be able to navigate around and see other information about whatever you're working with, in this case, a part. We're going to highlight a few items down in the dashboard. There is the edit key, which we'll cover more in a moment. You can establish alternates for a part. If you're dealing with competition plumbing, you may purchase the same type of fitting from many different manufacturers, and you're able to indicate what may be an alternate part number for that item. Quantity pricing. This is another pricing tool. You can indicate quantity price breaks for an item. Everyone is familiar with these when it comes to quantity pricing. You can say that if they purchase 10 or more, it's different pricing. Purchase history. In the case of purchase history, this will show every single time that you purchased an item, who you purchased it from, and the cost that you paid for it. Memo. With each item, whether it be a part or with a labor item, you can create a memo to go with that. This memo would appear on the invoice or could just appear on the screen when you set it up. So you can click Add, Edit a Memo, and then you can indicate whether or not it's just to display only, whether it's to print, or do both. This gives you an opportunity to type a long description about a part or a labor operation that the customer would then see. You type it up once, you make sure it's all correct, and then it will appear every single time with that part or that labor operation. It's a great way of passing along additional information, especially when it comes to labor, where you may have a labor operation that you put onto an order that's pretty expensive, and you really want to pass along to the customer the full details of all of the activity that you did for that particular labor operation. Okay, that concludes a review of the dashboard. I only went into certain ones that I felt would really be useful to you when you're starting out with HP and what you're likely to use most often.